for him. With him on the days are some of our invited guests. You are all acknowledged, but we have some special invited guests in here who I will have to introduce to us. We have with us our own mother, and she's a Pro-Vice Chancellor of this great university. She's in the person of Professor Mrs. Rosemond Bohin. Let's have it up for her. We also have in our midst, we are so honored today, we have with us here the registrar of this great institution. He's in the person of Mr. Jeff Tay Onyame. On the days, we also have with us Distinguished Professor Kofi Esuman, who is actually the honorary president for Ghana Chemical Society. We also have with us Professor James We also have with us Professor James Dakwa. Let's give it up for him. We also have here Professor Mrs. Sarah Dakwa, the Dean, School of Graduate Studies. With her is her Vice Dean, Professor Rufino Zugli of the Chemistry Department. Also here is Professor Achu Bako, the Victor Achu Bako, the Head of Department, Chemistry Department. We also have with us here my own father, Professor Johannes Awuja. We also have with us on the days Professor Samson Abagale. Sorry, pardon me if I don't pronounce it. He is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of CK Tidam University of Applied Sciences from Navrongo. With us here is also Mr. Evans Akot Ej of the Water Quality Assurance Department. He is the manager there, but he's repping the Chief Manager of the Water Quality Assurance Department, Dr. Mrs. Margaret Akole. Also in our midst here, we have Dr. Enoch Denchi, a senior lecturer from UG, the Environmental Chemistry Department. You are all indeed welcome to this conference. Thank you. As time goes on, we'll keep on introducing all the specially invited guests who arrived. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mrs. Samira Ago Wananu. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take the chair's acceptance speech. Shall we give it up for him? Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. The morning is not coming out well. The morning is good. So good morning. Thank you very much. As you can all see, I'm not the Vice Chancellor. I'm been asked to stand in his stead, and I'm just going to do just that. So the Vice Chancellor has not been able to attend this function because he's engaged in another important program which he couldn't just also leave. So he asked us to step in his stead. So I'll plead with you to accept his apologies. And I believe that if time permits, you might see him before you end your program by Saturday. My provisee, who is also here because he was also invited, but he also has an important program which is almost about to start. So if we see her leaving, then we should also accept that. Around this time, I don't know, all programs have been slated around this time. and everybody is engaged. So if you see her that she's also moving, she's also asking for apologies that you accept it, and surely she will return when she's done with the other program. So for me to start the speech given to me by the VC, I would also like to say that all the good things that come out of this speech are associated with it. For the bad ones, please forgive us. The Pro VC, Professor Mrs. Bohini, the Registrar of the University, Mr. Jeff Te Unyame, former Vice Chancellors here present, Deans and Vice Deans present, distinguished professors, President of the Ghana Chemical Society, heads of department present, the local organizing committee members of this conference, members of the Chemical Society, distinguished invited guests, faculty, senior members of UCC, students present, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all once again. Warm greetings, as I've said earlier, from our Vice Chancellor, Professor Johnson Nyaku-Bwampo. First and foremost, he says he welcomes us all to this entire membership of the Ghana Chemical Society, to the University of Cape Coast, the University of Competitive Choice, the #1 university in Ghana and West Africa in 3 years running. I would also like to express my profound gratitude to the local organizing committee for the invitation to chair this opening ceremony of the conference on the theme, Chemistry, Making the World a Better Place, which is scheduled to take place from the 15th to the 18th of May 2024 here in this great university, the #1 in the country. Judging from my background, so I'm speaking for the Vice Chancellor, as a trained pharmacist, and quoting from the late learned Professor B.A. Dutson, I quote, "Chemistry occupies a central place in the natural sciences," unquote. Over the past years, I've always supported the creation of self-sustaining science base in Africa, with a view of solving local challenges and contributing to global knowledge. This idea has to be achieved partly through conferences and scientific seminars, such as the one commencing today, as well as those training workshops and research mobility that looks at the core guidelines of Ghana Chemical Society. These core guidelines include, but is not limited to, 1, to promote investigation and research in the field of chemistry and allied sciences. 2, to disseminate chemical knowledge through meetings, lectures, symposia, publication, and other means. 3, to popularize chemistry and foster the development of chemical education. And 4, which is the last, to promote the application of chemistry in national development. I have no doubt that the conference will help realize this dream. This conference, as I've learned, is one of the most important gatherings of chemistry practitioners from academia and industry for the purpose of disseminating scientific knowledge and holding fruitful discussion on the issues in relation to national development. We, as a research-intense and knowledge-driven university, wish to partner GCS, that's the Ghana Chemical Society, in this vision to bring to fore the relevance of chemistry and specifically quality research and innovation. In recent times, we all bear witness to the fact that research in chemical sciences has evolved from its traditional trigonometry and gravimetric areas into cutting-edge development involving sophisticated applications of analytical instrumentation. It is on this basis I deem this conference not only necessary, but also an avenue to give individuals participating in this conference an opportunity to network and potentially broaden their knowledge base for the common good of the ordinary citizens who are consumers of research findings. Finally, I wish you a fruitful deliberation during this conference and a happy stay on our beautiful UCC campus. Thank you all for this invitation, and I, standing here now, I accept to chair this function. But before I sit down, I have an adage. They say for chemistry, if you miss the K, it will become mystery. So I'll plead that when our speaker is giving his address or is giving the keynote address, please don't miss the K so that it doesn't become mystery to all of us. Thank you.
I think we can add it one more time for our chair. Professor Moses Jojo Egan is the Provost, College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences. And he is a representative of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Johnson Nyakubu-Ampon. And he himself, our chair, is a physicist. And so if he talks about chemistry, it means that he has an idea as to what chemistry is about. In fact, I have had the privilege of teaching at every level of the Ghanaian educational cycle. I had the privilege of doing some pupil teaching in primary school before I went to training college, now College of Education. Then after my training as a professional teacher, I was posted to a junior high school where I taught English, even though I'm a scientist. And I taught some integrated science as well. Then I came for further studies in the university, and after my training as a professional teacher in the university, I was posted to St. Augustine's College, where I taught for 10 years. I was teaching chemistry. I went to Ula College of Education, where I taught for 4 years as a chemistry teacher. And now I am at University of Energy and Natural Resources, where I teach chemistry. And I've been telling my students, God, there's a lot of mystery about chemistry. People think it is a difficult subject. And I have a very simple way of telling people that chemistry may not be as difficult as people think it is. So I draw the analogy between chemistry and a beautiful lady. You know, people think every beautiful lady is taken. So sometimes you see a beautiful lady and you don't muster the confidence to approach her because you think she's taken, oh, this one there, Charlie, somebody, she has some, ask for this beautiful lady. But sometimes they gnash. Ask them, they will tell you. And sometimes they can be the easiest for a take. Am I lying? Beautiful ladies. Yeah. Yes. So sometimes people think chemistry is difficult, but it is not. When you get closer to it and you attempt to tackle it, then you realize that after all, it is what you think, like a beautiful lady. Okay? Get closer, like you would want to explore by way of some adventure. If you see a beautiful lady, don't assume she's taken. I did that here at UCC, and I remember in level 400, there was this lady I was at Tvucc Hall with, a beautiful girl. Then I approached her when we were just about some few months away from leaving. I said, Charlie, na me feel pow. But na me no. I said, you know, faint hearts never win fair ladies. That was the first time I heard that expression. I said, wow. Just so to put it simply, so chemistry is indeed very interesting. And Professor Benyan Akwe, that son of blessed memory, will say that chemistry is a central science. Indeed, there is nothing that can exist without chemistry. Not until the physicist, had silicon extracted in its pure sense could they manufacture a chip for which you could have a mobile phone. And this is how he would, and so there is nothing that can exist without chemistry. Nothing. With your kindest indulgence, Chair, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And at this juncture, we have a few more dignitaries in our midst today that we would like to acknowledge with the kindest permission of the Chair. And in no particular order, yes, there's this particular individual, not necessarily that he was simply introduced, but there are a few more credentials that I would want to share with our audience this morning. Professor Johannes A.M. Awuja, he's here. Indeed, he is a chartered chemist and a fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry. He is with the Department of Chemistry, KNUST, Kumasi, and Ghana's representative for Royal Society of Chemistry. He is the Ghana's chairman for the Pan-African Chemistry Network Hub and a recipient for Royal Society of Chemistry's Exceptional Service Award in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, let's acknowledge Professor Johannes A.M. Awuja. Well, I have a series of names here that have already been introduced, but I would do my best. Maybe I will skip a couple of them. We have Nicholas Hiniampong Ochre. He's a Regional Water Quality Assurance Manager, Ghana Water Limited, Central Region. We have Jet Atebia, pardon my crucifying of your name. Yes, and she is the Regional Water Quality Assurance Manager, Bono Region, Ghana Water Limited. We have Lydia Ajewa Jemfi, Supervisor, Ghana Water Quality Assurance, I beg your pardon, Bono Region. She's also here. And there's a special sister of mine. I'm in the region with her. And last semester, we have a couple of students who were at their place for industrial attachment. And we had an interaction with her, an amazing interaction with her. We are grateful. Professor Victor Y.A. Baku, the head of department, chemistry. He's also here. I think the introduction has already been done. Professor Yao Opoku Boahen, Department of Chemistry. He's also here. Prof, we are grateful for your presence. Thank you. And Professor Kwesi Opoku Boahen is also here. Yes. I beg your pardon. Professor Kwesi Opoku Boadu, Department of Chemical and Renewable Energy Engineering, School of Sustainable Engineering, UCC. Thank you very much, Prof, for your presence. Okay, I think I'll pause here. I'll come back in case you've not received any acknowledgement. That's not deliberate. We'll be back to you to continue with that. We are grateful for your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, with your kindest permission, we'd like to have the keynote address by our special guest, who is in the person of Professor James Dakwa. And he is going to be speaking on the topic, chemistry, making the world a better place. But in the meantime, I would have once more Dr. Mrs. Samira Agor-Wanonu to give us a background about our keynote speaker. Thank you very much. Shall we give it up for her once again?
Thank you. Thank you. Please, shall we also give it up for the following? The executives. I've already introduced Professor Kofi Esuman. We also have in our midst Dr. Francis Insian, the Secretary, Honorary Secretary. We also have with us The LOC chair, my own mother, Dr. Genevieve Adopo. And we also have Dr. Cranting Ado, the honorary treasurer. Also with us is my personal person, Dr. Isaac Isiama. In our midst is my super. That's how I address him. He is Professor Kwesi Bentum. Thank you very much. Please, a little profile for us on our keynote speaker. Professor James Dakwa hails from Achim Tripiase in the Kwabrim district. He started his elementary education at Tripiase Presbyterian School and completed middle school at Tripiase Local Authority Middle School. He then proceeded to Suhum Secondary Technical School for his O-level, where his interest in chemistry was sparked by the late Reverend Dr. David Asante Date. He was his chemistry tutor and a former secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, who later became a Presbyterian minister. The rest of Prof's education were at Adisadel College, that's where he had his A-level, KNUST, where he had his BSc in chemistry, and the University of New Brunswick in Canada, where he had a PhD in chemistry. Let's give it up for that. He further honed his skills as a chemist with 2 postdoctoral fellowships positioned at University of Calgary, Canada, and University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA, before taking academic positions in Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa. He is currently a visiting professor at the University of Joburg. He is an elected fellow of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, African Academy of Sciences, and then South African Chemical Institute, and a member of the Academy of Sciences of South Africa. Let's give it up for our keynote speaker, Professor James Dakwa. Thank you.
While the distinguished people who are on the podium take their seat, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ghana Chemical Society for inviting me to give the keynote address for this conference. In particular to Professor Kofi Suman, who I've known for a number of years, and the entire leadership of the Ghana Chemical Society. I deliberately put down the person who inspired me to take chemistry seriously. And it happened that that person was trained at UCC. Mr. David Asante Date taught me chemistry from 1969. So I'm beginning to give my age to these young ladies who are assembled from Wesley Girls and Holy Child. 2 of the schools that I never had the courage to go to. You heard the MC talk about people being afraid to approach ladies. I've never set foot at Wesley College, Wesley Girls, and never set foot at Holy Child, but I stayed 2 years at Adesado College. So that will give you a sense of how shy I was, having come from an all-boys school to an all-boys school to do A-levels. But I ended up marrying some